so
young
much
lady.
for having me.
How you been? What's new? What's going on? Any threats from the governor's office?
Was that the one to run me out of office?
I was going to ask you about that. Now, seriously, and you can respond to whatever questions you choose, and you can say, "Oh, Robert, stop being Aaron." But I have heard rumors that yes, that there is in Democratic political circles. I'm not going to say a target on your back because I see you personally as unbeatable. But on the other hand, you're not one of the governor's favorites.
No, I guess because I represent the people that elected me. I take the District 9's values and their desires and their concerns and our agenda to Baton Rouge. I don't bring anyone else's back home. And so, but, you know, I try to stick to the policies. It's not personal with me. You know, I don't get in personal fights. I just stand for the people. And as long as they want me, then I'm going to go and represent the majority. You know, 89% of us in District 9 feel exactly the same way.
In the last session, the special session, the tax raising session, you were what I called, along with Representative Seabaugh, and you were part of my trinity of no. No, we're not going to raise taxes.
No, stop it.
The state doesn't need more revenue. No, we've got plenty. And what eventually was, dare I say, you were kind of a prophetess, an oracle, if you will. It was borne out to be right, despite all the governor's protestations. I don't have the money. LSU football's got to shut down. Who knows? We may have to close down all the offshore drilling because we may not have money to do it. Or whatever reason.
Throw the seniors out on the streets.
It all turned out to be, pardon me, gubernatorial hysteria, right?
It appears that way.
Okay, Dodie. I know you probably didn't get a Christmas card from the governor.
No, we did.
Did you?
Yes, he sent it to all of us.
Oh, very nice.
Merry Christmas. See ya.
And I do. We just have a different agenda and different philosophies. We believe in less government intrusion in your life and less taxes. And he's a tax and spending liberal. So it's just different agendas.
This is an election year. He wants to raise teacher pay. He wants to raise the minimum wage. Let's start with the minimum wage. Arkansas just raised theirs, $9.25 an hour. There are a lot of folks who say we got to compete.
Pardon me. How is raising, okay, you know I'm on Dodie's side on this one.
I know.
How is raising minimum wage going to bring business to Louisiana? But let me take the cynic's point of view. I read an article, I think it was the Hayride just a few days ago, that literally said that the governor knows, that John Bel knows that any minimum wage increase is dead in the water, that it is merely a political ploy. What do you know? What do you think?
Well, I've heard it every year. I'm on a labor committee, and so it's brought up every year, but the statistics prove that the very people you say you want to help by raising the minimum wage are the ones who will lose their jobs first. Because there's a fine line between too much government intrusion into private industry and private business. I mean, we're going to either be a socialist country or we're going to believe in free enterprise. And minimum wage, as the Department of Labor states in Louisiana, in 2017, 3.6% earned a minimum wage. Most employers are already paying more, but it's their choice to pay more. And these are entry-level jobs that are mainly student workers are able to get those. And like, I think this year, January the 1st of this year, California is the first state in the union to raise their minimum wage to $15 an hour. And economists say that it will result in the loss of 400,000 jobs, and that's a conservative number. But it is the effects of raising your minimum wage to a degree that business cannot afford will result in the lowest paid workers being unemployed.
Teachers are saying they're willing to walk out if they don't get a substantial increase. The governor's proposing 1,000. Teachers say that's not enough. They seem to be a political ploy in an election year all the time. Is that going to happen again? You know,
as of me, I don't play games. You know, I go by what we have, and I believe that our Bossier Parish educators deserve the most that we can pay, and it's up to our locals to raise that extra money. If we believe that our educators, our administrators, our support personnel are worthy of making more money, then we need to pass a bond issue on the next ballot and support that. If we value our educators, then Bossier Parish will elect to pay them more. The increases mainly come from the parish that the educators and the support personnel live in and work in and are valued above what the state can do. That's where the increases come.
Do you think this is political on the governor's part to do it in an election year? Where was he for teachers last year?
Well, you know, I really can't say what his motives are. I know that his wife's a retired educator and understands what they do. In 1900, when public education was implemented, they taught the children, and every year we've added more and more. They went from teaching to now we expect them to raise our children. So what they're asked to do is far beyond what they're educated to do, and it's just their mother, father, counselor, and it's just and they teach everyone that comes to them. They can't pick and choose, and so they deserve to make as much as we can afford for them too. As a state, I don't know what that would be. You know, the MFP is where the raises would come from. If they increase the MFP to a sustainable amount without raising taxes statewide, then I hope that it's able. I don't know any of us who won't support that, but the increase has to come from within the parish that the school board resides in, because we are the ones who personally know their value. Governor's
race is going to be on us before you know it, a little bit later this year. There are those who will say that John Bel he's a shoo-in. I just don't see that he is as strong a candidate as some of the media would have you believe, but that's just me. But on the other side, on the Republican side of the whole thing, is the field full? Is Ralph Abraham gonna be it? The New Orleans guy whose name eludes me. Is there any shot? And maybe you don't want to comment on this at all. I still got a feeling there's somebody getting back in. I'm sorry, getting in on the Republican side, and I still think Jeff Landry's thinking about it. Do you hear anything about that?
No, I really haven't. I know Eddie Risponi is the businessman that you were speaking of.
And I apologize to the aforementioned.
And I look forward to getting to visit with both of them. And I'll tell you, we need a game changer. We need a bold Republican, and it has to be Republican, guys, because y'all know this day the parties are so polarized opposite that it matters what their philosophy is. We need a game changer, someone who will take the failed policies that we sink our money into and continue to have the worst outcome in the nation. We need a game changer to update our service delivery model for Department of Health and to change the failed policies, adopt best practices from other states, and be able to function and use our natural resources to our benefit. And we've lost so many oil and gas jobs because of the lawsuits, and so we've got to find a way to turn Louisiana around, and it's going to take a bold leader to do that. And I'm accused of being one of the, what am I called, obstructionists who want to maintain the status quo. Let me tell you, if I wanted to maintain the status quo, District 9 would have voted for everything and thrown the money into a black hole.
Dodie, I know
that's the status quo, and I cannot support that.
Dodie, I know you want to issue a message. We lost a Shreveport police officer this week, and I know you probably want to send prayers and wishes to the family and the SPD. Oh, absolutely. My father was a retired Shreveport police officer. I come from a law enforcement family, and it breaks my heart every time that I hear that on the news. Please know that we are with you, and we support you, and are praying for you, and I pray that God wraps his arms around you and comforts you. He is a God of all comfort. And I just thank you so much for your daughter, your sister, your aunt, cousin, that I thank her for her service. She was willing to put her life in front of mine, and I'm just grateful. Dodie Horton, State Representative, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, and thank you for District 9 for allowing me to represent you.